It's 1973, and a teenage girl named Lori Maddox receives an invitation. It comes from Jimmy Page, the guitarist and one of the band leaders of Led Zeppelin. He's seen her modeling photos and he wants to meet her. Not long after, they begin a relationship. But here's the problem. Jimmy Page is 29 years old, and Lori is only 14.
At that point in time, there was an influx of baby groupies. And I mean babies, they were 13 and 14.
How did these rock stars get away with this? Shouldn't this be illegal? But it turns out it wasn't just a rock star thing. It's still happening everywhere around the world today.
Kate has that quality of child woman, which touches a nerve with men.
There have been documented cases across industries where powerful men engaged in illegal relationships.
Is this still an ongoing relationship with you?
It seems like everyone knows, but nobody does anything about it. Why? Learning about this story made me sick. Why isn't this the biggest story in music? Why do we still idolize these rock stars, and why are we still accepting it today? Let me tell you a story. This video is a journalistic analysis of publicly documented cases involving power and accountability in entertainment industries. All information is based on established media reporting, court records, and public statements. The purpose is critical examination and cultural analysis, not to make new allegations or promote harmful behavior. In 1973, rock and roll is everywhere. Clubs are loud, nights blur into mornings, and sex, drugs, and rock and roll feel like they're taking over.
The bands would come to the Sunset Strip. Like, everybody wanted to be there.
And a young girl, Lori Maddox, should be in school. But instead, she's at the Rainbow Club on the Sunset Strip. She's one of the most famous groupies in Los Angeles, but she's still just in 7th grade.
I was drawn by the music. The music is what swept me up, and all of it.
A few months earlier, Lori had been at the Beverly Hilton for a party. That's where she met him. David Bowie, one of the biggest rock stars on the planet. Bowie was in his mid-20s, while Lori was only 14. In that same year, Lori was back at the Rainbow Club, just dancing and having a good time with her friends. A few moments later, she was taken out of the club.
We were at the Rainbow, and Richard Cole says to me, "Get in the bloody car, and if you move, I'll have your head."
She was thrown into the back of a limousine, taken to the Hyatt House on Sunset, and there waiting was Jimmy Page.
And I turn around and look, and there's Jimmy sitting in the corner of the room with a hat and a cane, saying, "I told you, I'm going to have you."
This was the beginning of their 2-year relationship. Page kept her hidden, locked in hotel rooms during tours. Guards outside the door. She wasn't allowed to leave.
He always left me with the security. I wasn't really allowed to go very many places with him.
Jimmy Page was, of course, terrified of being arrested if anyone found out how young she was. But Lori wasn't the only one. Her friend Sable Starr started younger than Lori. She later described having an encounter with Randy California, guitarist for the band Spirit. She was in 6th grade, and by 13 she was chilling with Mick Jagger, Iggy Pop, Keith Moon, Alice Cooper. And the crazy thing is that these weren't secrets. Even Sable's parents knew. The entire music industry knew.
You know, what was Rodney doing having a club with a bunch of underage girls in there? And the bands were drawn to that club. So I think that was probably the fascination of it all, don't you think?
And the pattern goes way beyond Lori and Sable.
What drives Steve Tyler? Drugs, women.
Steven Tyler, the frontman of Aerosmith, that he obtained legal guardianship of her. Tyler convinced her parents to sign over custody.
He said that I was too young, we couldn't get married because of my age. He couldn't take me on tour with him unless he was my legal guardian. You know, he basically ruled me.
This allowed him to take her across state lines on tour without getting charged.
He said, "You're too young to understand, but I'm the devil. And if you love me, you love the devil."
Ted Nugent did the same thing. They called it the legal guardian loophole.
I was underage, and even back in the wild 70s, it just really wasn't a terribly appropriate situation in most people's eyes. And now it would be criminal.
Don Henley of the Eagles, his 16-year-old girlfriend overdosed on cocaine. His punishment? A $2,500 fine and 2-year probation. The legend Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. His autobiography tells a story of sexual behavior with a minor when he was 23. Elvis Presley met his wife Priscilla when she was only 14. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin. And it's important to note that this wasn't hidden. It was public knowledge, and the media celebrated it. Rock stars hired lawyers, figuring out how to navigate the legal gray areas. Decades later, some of these women start questioning their experiences.
The truth is, I was lost. I was in a world that was very dangerous, and I barely escaped with my life.
The question is, if everyone knew about this, why weren't any of these rock stars punished?
Led Zeppelin, the greatest rock and roll band of all time.
How do Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith continue to be the most celebrated bands ever?
Why do I love rock and roll? Because it gets me off. Everything I've ever loved was immoral, illegal, fattening, or grew hair on your palms.
Well, the answer goes way beyond rock music. When we're doing research for these videos, we encounter something strange and annoying. A lot of the interviews, documentaries, and archives are simply blocked, depending on where you live. That's why we're completely dependent on tools like private internet access. It's a VPN that helps you avoid location restrictions and lets you access movies, books, and other online content. And to us, it's important that it has servers in 92 different countries in all US states. But it doesn't just unlock content, it also helps us stay safe on the internet. And to be honest, using the internet without the VPN is essentially like going to a toilet that is made all of windows, so people could essentially just see everything that's going on. PIA closes those windows. It hides your IP address and encrypts your internet connection, keeping your online activity private. And the most important thing to me is that it works. It's reliable. I don't have to do any technical mumbo jumbo. I can just turn it on. PIA has over 30 million downloads and is one of the most transparent VPN providers out there. And this is important. They never record or store user data. It works on all platforms. And yes, one subscription protects an unlimited number of devices at the same time. So if you want to try PIA yourself, you can just click the link in the description, or you could use the QR code showing up somewhere on screen. I'll make room for it here. And if you try it now, you'll get 4 extra additional months and 30-day money-back guarantee. So it's risk-free. You'll get protected online for as little as $2 a month. Now, let's get back to the video.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski.
At the 2003 Oscars, Roman Polanski wins Best Director for his film The Pianist. But there's a problem. Polanski is unable to be there physically to accept his award.
The Academy congratulates Roman Polanski and accepts his award on his behalf.
He can't, because if he steps foot in the United States, he'll be arrested immediately.
When the newspapers and the magazines and the books, is there anything in it?
Well, I like young women, let's put it this way. What exactly would you like me to tell you?
26 years earlier, in 1977, Polanski serves champagne and pills to the 13-year-old girl at Jack Nicholson's house.
And I was scared and confused and high, and so I just kind of didn't really know how to resist that. I just didn't know what else to do. I was unprepared.
And because the girls of that age, for some reason, like me.
But before sentencing, Polanski flees the country.
I'm going to Paris.
Will you come back?
Will I come back?
Sir, what?
I certainly will.
And he's been living as a fugitive in France ever since. The most disturbing part, when his name is announced at the Oscars, the audience gives him a standing ovation. Because in Hollywood, if you're famous enough, you can get away with anything.
Director Woody Allen caught in a relationship with the 21-year-old adopted daughter of his longtime partner, Mia Farrow.
Woody Allen started a relationship with the adopted daughter of his wife when she was still in high school.
I have an adult relationship with Suni. To those people that feel they want to feel that it's questionable or not their taste, or she's too young for me, or she's Mia's daughter, or whatever they want to think, I'll take that heat.
Is this still an ongoing relationship with you?
Yes. I mean, she's away at school, so it's limited by that, and she has a few years to go before she graduates.
But he's still making movies today. Director Luc Besson began dating a 15-year-old actress when he was 32. His film Leon the Professional, about a 12-year-old girl's relationship with an older man, was based on her.
There is one scene and one guy say, no fucking way. And then 200 people stand up and leave.
What scene was that?
It was Matilda saying to Leon, I want you to be my first lover.
This is a cultural problem. Websites with countdowns to the exact second an actress turned 18 became popular. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Emma Watson, Natalie Portman, Millie Bobby Brown. The internet literally tracked when these girls would become legal. Then of course we've got Leonardo DiCaprio. He has found a way to really hack the system. Leo has dated 28 women publicly, but not one of them was over the age of 25 when the relationship ended. And at 52 he's never been married. He follows a simple pattern. He meets a model when she's 18 or 19, dates her for a few years. The moment she gets close to 25, he replaces her with another 18-year-old. It's honestly so consistent that it's become a meme.
You've worked with every great director. You've won 3 Golden Globes, an Oscar. And the most impressive thing is that you were able to accomplish all of that before your girlfriend turned 30. I mean, it's just insane.
It's called the Leonardo DiCaprio syndrome. And this pattern is not unique to Hollywood. You can see it in all global pop industries. These are very young girls performing, and their audience is not kids. This is not controversial, not illegal. It's a trendy pop group in Japan, and the anime industry does the same thing. It's so normalized in Japanese culture that it has become a major export.
You can see from the outside cover, this is clearly a child, and I'm obviously not going to show you what is inside it. It's not illegal here, and it's going to remain legal despite this new legislation, as are video games and cartoons, also depicting this sort of child pornography.
Online search trends show youth-themed content consistently rank among the most popular. But trust me, this is just the surface. Because it turns out that this problem goes so much deeper than we had ever imagined.
Oh, this is my first shoot for Calvin Klein with Patrick Dumas-Chelier and Fabien Baron.
Kate Moss's career in the fashion industry began when she was 14. Still in high school, but already on runways, already in major advertising campaigns, already being photographed topless. And Kate wasn't an exception. She was a standard.
Kate has that quality of child woman thing, which touches a nerve with men especially. That's always on the edge a little bit.
Throughout the 90s and 2000s, modeling agencies actively recruited 14 and 15-year-old girls.
Hello, my name is Nadia. I'm 13.
The younger, the better. They wanted girls who hadn't fully developed yet. Narrow hips, ideal chests. By 25, most models are considered too old, aged out, replaced by the next generation of teenagers.
It's frustrating to feel like you're sort of disposable, you know, that there's such a high turnover rate.
But fashion has been doing this for years. This was Calvin Klein's most successful ad campaign.
You want to know what comes between me and my Calvins? Nothing.
A 15-year-old girl in tight jeans telling the world that she's not wearing underwear.
Calvin, beautiful conqueror. So that's what happened to me. I've been Calvinized.
That campaign didn't just sell jeans. It showed the market how valuable youth could be.
I was a kid, and where I was naive. But sex has sold since the dawn of time. There's an appeal to it that is so undeniable, and they tapped right into it. You know, they knew exactly what they were doing, and the campaign was extremely successful.
The beauty and the anti-aging industries generate over $550 billion every year. These are some of the biggest corporations in the world. Their entire business model is built on one thing: youth is valuable.
It may be time to start using Neutrogena Retinol Regenerating Cream. It can reverse 7 years of visible aging.
Aging is failure. Every wrinkle cream or anti-aging serum, every product promises to turn back time. All these industries are selling the same thing. The idea that looking young is the only way to be desirable. Fashion magazines with teenage models on every cover. Not because they're better models, but because youth sells.
John Casablancas pushed the industry over the edge with the sexualization and objectification of kids.
L'Oreal isn't going to stop selling anti-aging products. Major adult platforms aren't going to remove the most successful category because there's simply just too much money to be made. But Hollywood, Epstein, Big Capital, none of these players are responsible for creating the demand. They just happen to become the suppliers. Which leaves us with maybe the most interesting question. Where does this demand come from?
You attack interesting topics from first principle, and you find some of the most interesting ideas and topics that you decide to dissect.
This is Thomas Pueo. He's a brilliant writer who, among other stuff, studies evolutionary biology and human behavior. And he wrote a very interesting series called The Game Theory of Sex that explains something we need to understand about human biology.
In the most important moment in life for reproduction, which is early on in the sexual life, when women are the most fertile, which is just after puberty. So 15 to 18 or so, women are extremely fertile.
Some evolutionary scientists argue that attraction patterns can be influenced by fertility cues.
Mary was at the age of 12 or 15 when she got her baby, Jesus Christ.
Now here's the key point. Biology doesn't have to be destiny. That's where our moral responsibility begins and where society has to draw a line. But here's why that's so difficult. Human brains evolved over millions of years, when life expectancy was 30. And since fertility began at puberty, reproduction had to happen quickly.
Is that men place a greater priority on physical attractiveness, physical appearance, good looks. It's basically an evolved preference for fertility cues. Men who mated with infertile women failed to become ancestors. And so
that's not a justification, it's an explanation. In small tribal societies, community pressure kept us in check. But in our modern world, we have more concentrated power than ever before. A bunch of billionaires, each with more wealth than all ancient kings combined. The very biology that made our species survive 100,000 years ago is now being expressed by men with private jets and private islands. That's why this problem is so hard to solve. The same underage girl standing outside a club on the Sunset Strip in 1973, she's still there. She just has a different face. The exploitation hasn't disappeared, it just changed shape. So what's the solution? It's hard to change our biology overnight. That's millions of years of genetic programming we can't undo. But what we can change is the economic incentives. We can stop buying products that tell women their value expires. We can stop clicking on content that exploits youth. Stop supporting industries built on youth. For most of history, powerful men has gotten away with this because nobody could see it. But now we can. We have the internet, we have screenshots, we have leaks, and most importantly, we have victims that can speak to millions of people without having to ask for permission. I think transparency is our greatest weapon. We have to force these nefarious activities of these powerful men into the open. The solution is probably not to change human nature, but to make secrecy impossible.
We've noticed that a lot of you watching these videos are not yet subscribed. And if I may ask you for one single thing that you could do to help this channel, it's simply hitting the subscribe button. Because it costs you nothing to hit subscribe and it provides so much value to the creators. So not only to us, hit subscribe to your favorite creators because that will really help them. Speaking of support, check out PIA through the link in the description. That will also help this channel. We just want to make better and bigger and more interesting videos and tell more interesting stories for you guys. So thank you for following along. See you for the next one.